Hello and welcome to another episode of Scope. I'm Carol Kidu Jr., standing in for your regular host, Tracy Parr. Papua New Guinean filmmaker and founder of Zolad Media, Richard Sargent, is encouraging more young men and women to delve into the filmmaking industry. He believes creating movies can be a catalyst for behavior change among the youth and encourage young people to contribute to the country's creative industry.
Hello, girls.
Girls, don't tire out Papa. He needs all his energy for training.
What about this one? Huh?
The filmmaking industry is a sleeping giant, according to Richard Sargent, a Papua New Guinean filmmaker and founder of Zolad Media. Some local film productions ever shot in PNG include Tin Piece Run, filmed in 1991.
Hello?
Japanese.
Mino sabe? Ating battery blong telephone Pinisia.
Tukana in 1984, Mr. Pip in 2012, Look at You in 2016, Grace in 2014, Lesman in 2024, and a handful of others.
I know that filmmaking is a sleeping giant industry and it is very successful in the world, and I think PNG needs to tap into that industry where we have a lot of stories to be told in PNG.
Sargent describes PNG as one of the most diverse countries in the world, with many ethnic groups, languages, and cultures. One can imagine the amount of potential to create movies if there was more investment in filmmaking.
Why not the government support filmmakers in PNG so that we can create those little series so that we can watch our own programs, invest into our own country, make our own money with films, and not just awareness films, but we can have PNG films tell the stories to the world. We have a lot of stories in PNG, Tumbuna stories, love stories, traditional stories that we can always tell and show to the world. We just need the support. We just need the support from the government, from the industry professionals.
He believes creating movies can be a catalyst for behavior change among the youth and encourage young people to contribute to the country's creative industry.
I think when the government supports this industry, we will have a lot of young people get into filming. And I think, when one looks at a finished product, at a film, they will, feel that, they've had their contribution. They've contributed to something that's happening on screen.
According to the Medium-Term Development Plan for 2023 to 2027, the government is now recognizing the film industry and allocated an annual budget of 20 million kina to the National Film and Creative Arts Development Program.
Look at Taina, the way he's acting. This is unacceptable.
He's bringing shame to our culture and our men. We need to teach him a lesson.
Yeah. Other villagers will think that we are weak.
Sargent recently announced the online premiere of Wounded Warriors, a Papua New Guinea film produced by Zolad Media. The film explores a young father's poignant journey to break the cycles of intergenerational trauma. The film means a lot to Sargent. It is the first feature film he wrote, filmed and produced. He shot the film at home in Makerupu in the Rigo district of Central Province. He had the help of a film crew, his family, and the Makerupu community.
Wounded Warriors means a lot to me because it is my first ever feature film that I wrote and directed and shot back in my home village, Makerupu, in the Central Province, with the help of the community there and my family and with my small crew. We didn't have much time with shooting. We had very limited time. It took us only 2 weeks to shoot the film with the limited resources that we had at the time, but it was so much fun. When I wrote the script, it was inspired by the campaign by the PNG Women's Association of Victoria here in Melbourne. With Wounded Warriors, we dive deep into the perpetrator's experience and what he experienced as a young child we see the things he faces in life that make him the person he is when he grows up, yeah.
Wounded Warriors unfolds the powerful story of Laka, a young father determined to break free from the cycle of family violence. After discovering a hidden letter from his late grandmother, Laka embarks on a heartfelt journey of healing and seeking redemption to create a legacy of love for his own children. The film was shot early 2024. Plans to release it in March of that year did not eventuate.
In terms of the expected outcomes we have with the release of the film, it's not just on a community level that we want to see social change, but also on the government level. We want our leaders to put in systems and policies within the country to see greater change. And so what we see typically is that through attempts to prevent family violence and gender-based violence, it's only centered on how we can, it's a response system where we only look at how do we help victims after the damage is already done. But we don't have a preventative system. And so our film encourages looking at the perpetrator and how can we support the perpetrator to end the cycle of family violence.
The partnership between Zolad Media and the PNG Women's Association of Victoria, Australia, to film a feature film in PNG aims to address the critical issues of domestic violence and intergenerational trauma in PNG. Sargent is also encouraging more youths in the country to dive into filmmaking. He plans to get more youths involved in future films that he plans for.
And I think when the government supports this industry, we will have a lot of young people get into filming. And I think there's a lot of opportunities. I'm planning to shoot more films, get more young people involved. And I think this also adds to getting young boys and girls away from drinking.
When you can mangi you pani, nami no mangi. Come down in Bastemon para here.
Bro, harap ya. Nanti ni les lombia. Bangun aja saya tidak mau nemoli orang. Ya, kisim na you drink.
No, but yeah, kami ko kisim sama belum kita ya.
You're watching Scope. Baiyer-Madang Road makes progress towards country's 50th independence anniversary. Apart from the road itself, funding will also be made for the construction of bridges in locations where needed. A look at that important story when we come back. The Baiyer-Madang Road project encompasses people in several districts in 2 provinces. It will alleviate their struggles and hardships, especially for those who live in areas considered hard to reach. We will continue after the break with more on this government-prioritized road project.
For 45 years, no tangible development had ever reached most areas in the Middle Ramu district. There are deteriorating infrastructure built in the pre-colonial era, but progress is being made as recent governments create avenues for infrastructure and other vital government services. Today, the Middle Ramu District Development Authority is on board the government's Connect PNG initiative. It has also prioritized tertiary school fee subsidies, including health and education, infrastructural development, which are captured for major financial support in its budget. The DDA, led by local MP Council Kamdaru, have provided both primary and high schools with funding to maintain existing infrastructure and build new ones too. Health centers in local level governments of Arabaka, Josephstal, Simbai and Kovon have been given the same support. However, the challenge remains for remote areas with no accessibility in transporting materials. They needed a chopper or plane for deployment. Moving of materials has been the budget-eating factor for Middle Ramu district. That is why the member is adamant that the road is built to save massive costs for the district. The member is now awaiting more funding from the national government to pump back into freight subsidy to allow these developments to continue.
45 years, this is a challenge when we face him through Kamna, road and connect him through Mipla. Inogat district, he bring him road, he come close to Loboda, Blong, Midramo. Delivery more project, the school, na housing, and through long, Balustaso. He must look long. Put him money, connect him this road, he come up good pla. Na embai kilimidai all get a challenge na everywhere you me fashion through long district. Give me come stop in chelo government and me looking plenty money me long spending me through long balus. Time me like delivery all project long school long housing and one bla job me must hire him long 1 hour 45,000 and 14,000 18,000 long 1 bla hour. Times him amas bla trip and by make him long and giving me big bla problem. So me no enough bla delivery service through. Emblo 1 blood day service tasol na mi spending plenty million kina. But now me looking also this bla 18 million me bla DDA funding blong connecting this bla Madang Baiyer Road. And me looking also this bla 18 million and by giving more impact na benefit long all people blong Middle Ramu.
Secretary for Works Department Gibson Olemba stated that roads are a multi-sectoral program induced to boost economic value and growth in the country. Once roads are established, all sectors including agriculture, livestock, fisheries, and so forth will be able to tap into the untapped areas with economic projects. The Highlands region will be able to bring in materials through airstrips and wharves via Madang, and then the road links will ease transportation into the Highlands.
And then you have the airports and the airstrips being upgraded. So it's not just roads, we are building an integrated transport system. His district has a lot of rural airstrips that needs to be upgraded, so that his 5 LLGs are covered as well, apart from the main road that will link. The concept of Connect PNG is a multi-sectoral and a multimodal development program. Baiyer-Madang is a 4th corridor on the Connect PNG program. Connect PNG program has 13 corridors, road economic corridors. The first one is transnational, the second is the Momase corridor. Then you have the third one is the southern corridor, 4th is Baiyer-Madang. Unfortunately, we've tried our best over the last years with the help of Defence Force. We were not able to reach from the Madang side. They've maybe helped us on the Baiyer-Lumusa side to at least reach Ruti Valley. Now that our member for Middle Ramu has put his resources to push from Ruti into the border of Chimi and Middle Ramu.
Secretary Holemba also acknowledged the partnership between Middle Ramu District and the Western Highlands parties. All are putting efforts into this much-needed road infrastructure. It not only encompasses 2 provinces, but several districts, alleviating the struggles and hardships of the people of both provinces who are in areas considered hard to reach.
So it's a partnership that is really pushing this effort, knowing the economic potential, including the hardships our people from Middle Ramu face, apart from Middle Ramu, basically to assess what's remaining, what are the resources available, working with our contractors who are already on site. If there is a need for us to increase the capacity so that they can speed up the work, that needs to be done with the current funding arrangement that we have with the support from 2 provincial governments and administration. How much do we have? How can we resource that? We are supplying a bridge already to Jimmy. We also will give another bridge for Middle Ramu to build it across Jimmy River so that we can connect Jimmy and Middle Ramu. We have 10 million kina allocation under this year's budget. We will support this current effort. At the same time, the future of it is that after we do the pilot track, upgrading to a pilot track level, we will now bring in an investor, and the investment bank, Indian Investment Bank, will fund it. So currently we are working on a geotech investigations for that to complete. Eventually we'll secure a loan to upgrade it to a national highway standard.
Furthermore, after the establishment of the Baiyer-Madang Road, this vital road link will become the country's next national highway, connecting the Highlands region in anticipation for the next economic sleeping giant, the Pacific Marine Industrial Zone.
The entire Highlands Highway is now being used by the entire Highlands region. When we have emergency down in Daulo and Chimbu and in Kasampas, we are not able to get a service and cargo into Highlands region. So in our multimodal transport planning, we are planning that all the Highlands provinces must have access to port services to bring in cargo. And for us, Western Highlands, it's easier to go down to Madang than going to Leh. And so that's an alternative route in terms of network redundancy plan. We are opening up Madang to from Western Highlands to Madang. So we can have access to PMIZ, the major port development down there, including the Madang port. So that's the entire network planning in terms of the transport plan that we have under the National Transport Strategy with the medium-term transport plan, medium-term development plan number 4, and also our National Road Network Strategy. So entire Connect PNG program is centered around those high-level policies of government.
As a testament to the struggles of the people, the visiting delegation encountered a set scenario between the newly graded Baiyer-Madang Road. 10 women from Simbai and Kovan got stuck in mud after crossing the Jimmy River. They had with them 2 pigs and 36 bags of peanut. The heavy rains have caused multiple landslips and worsened road conditions for the vehicles they were traveling in. This is one of many challenging circumstances faced by commuters every day. The hardship is faced both ways, by those traveling from Madang and from the Western Highlands. Richard Buri, a young man from the Baiyer area, shared his thoughts about the road construction.
Sla road em bagoy em nogaton black claim wanem sande bakama blogos em online honest lo site lo road to store wanem yon emba free emba go. Mi bloga da community stop lo mulbaya lumsa go sem lo Madang go Ruti Ramu slam road em serviso mi lagim serviso road mi bla team kame mi appreciate mi bla na mi tok thank you na mi lagim mi bla ron go free in future road em kamna all work ban kam stop islam mi bla look out him all so that all can walk him road linking go sem lo Madang Ramu emba big plus service ba kam because overall cattle farm to em stop tamlo lo roti timba em stop lo roti peanut coconut boy over Sunday lo cash flow now cash flow em coffee em stop but go down osem lo coastal side go osem lo Madang na Ruti go down osem lo Baiyer la side em slow something em ogora em stop lab so em service so big la something em to em road ta so em sa give me bla probleme paste mol tumpena ben stop ben all papa ben stop now mi blol magi now mi bla gro na kan stop em bla nidim service na stop so road em mi like him so mi like mi bla lo mi bla kamle em mi amamas mi appreciate him slana mi acknowledge him on behalf of mol Baiyer lumsap People there, me like him road must go.
Stephen Goraye, owner of the contractor API Builders and Construction, acknowledged the leadership of both Madang and Western Highlands governments in prioritizing the people after 45 years of hardship. Seeing the people's everyday struggles motivates the contractors to keep working. Goraye also commended the Baiyer people for their hospitality since they began work there. There have been no disruptions to this day. Mr. Goraye is adamant that the workmen will reach Simbai in the next 3 months. Funding is the crucial factor in the completion of the road link.
Continue to support. Money sablom midoramu. Mi lugim gold bongol staff. Mi lugim coffee staff. Mi lugim cobrana. Buai staff. Mi lugim pinati staff. Tasol karam kam out na ksimania molhadia. Balu sem big money. Road tasol ba karam kamia na yubla la lingi mapso. Mi dok thank you so. Thank you la yubla power milong. Welcome this road. Mi by stop still day to dark to light. Mi by still stop on this road. Enough this road bango na gol gedalo trans gogol. Plenty time is come cry logia. Mi no cry lo money. Mi no cry lo one black cargo. Mi cry lo yubla gela man meri because mi like him all this man must look him road. Mi got plenty machine stop. Car to stop. Mila kare mi kamia, mi ba kare mol kita masini kam tasol. Mi sorelo district lo miroramu. All bahad lo fund me because money by short. You plan give me money and this la road you plan give me 3 months I have nothing and me ba him. September 58th anniversary blo you plan me plan ba still drive through on this la road go simbai.
The people of Middle Ramu are anxious to see this project come to fruition and whether they will witness the government delegation that will travel through to Simbai on September 16 to celebrate independence with them. Meantime, road construction work on the Baiyer-Madang road continues.
And that ends this episode of Scope. Make sure to like or leave a comment under today's story on the TV1 online website and YouTube channel. Until next Sunday, I'm Carol Kidu Jr. Good night.